Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here's your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome in on this Wednesday. Welcome, ESPN Countdown, NBA Countdown. I was going to say game day, but it's not game day. It's Countdown. Welcome. Welcome in, Mike Breen. Good to have the voice of the NBA here. Welcome, Stephen A. Smith, who is saying Ja may play tonight against the Brooklyn Nets. I hate to say this, but, I'm getting conflicting reports. I hear some people say, I think we're going to shut Ja down for the rest of the regular season. We'll be just sort of like Steph Curry. We'll wait for the big games that really count. And then you got Stephen A. saying he may play today. So who knows? Who knows? Welcome, UB Brown. UB Brown, we just checked. The former Grizzly coach and one of the greatest analysts of all time, in my estimation. UB Brown is 88 years old. 88 years old and still concise, to the point, poignant, strategically on money.
Still frustrates fan bases if he doesn't talk positively about their team.
No, he's just telling the truth.
Telling the truth.
He's telling the truth. UB Brown. So, is UB Brown the greatest announcer at an older state, 88, than anybody else? The only guy I could think of that would be in his league would be Vin Scully. Now, they do have different roles, right? One's a play-by-play guy, the other is an analyst, and they are distinctly different. But I'm just they're national guys. They're on television or radio, because I've heard UB do some radio stuff.
Yep.
And 88. I mean, think about that.
Well, you honestly, I'm surprised to see someone. Not that Hubie's like, Greg Popovich or anything, but a coach of his stature to still have that interest and want to do it, like announce. Like I remember Bobby Knight. I mean, very different coaches, very different personalities. But I remember Bobby Knight when he was working at ESPN, especially down the stretch, clearly wasn't watching film, just didn't really care so much about what he was watching. Right. Hubie still has a passion for it. You hear it in his voice when he talks about every game, follows the league really closely. It's just impressive to see him still love the game so much like that.
Speaking of, whatever happened to Bobby Knight? Bobby Knight must have some sort of, I hate to say this and speculate for sure, but I think he has to have some form of dementia, because he was pretty healthy, and all of a sudden he was just like gone.
I think that's exactly right, actually.
Yeah,
I don't know any specifically, but I have heard things along those lines as well.
And the thing about Bobby Knight when he was doing it, he relied on just strategy, because he could still see all of that, and he relied on experiences from the past, and that was enough. I actually thought, and I am not a Bobby Knight fan because of interactions with the guy, but. And I've told that story so many times, I'm not going to repeat it. But
you're probably in good company there, too.
He was. I thought he was compelling to watch. He kind of made you want to watch. And, that's what a good announcer does. He's certainly not in the league with UB Brown. UB Brown is terrific. And the fact that he's doing it at 88 is incredible. Now, Al Michaels, we know, is no longer going to be with NBC. I just heard a rumor. Check this out. He's going to sign a 3-year deal with Amazon for big money?
With Amazon to do it, not with Joe Buck, with Kirk Herbstreit. Thursday Night Football, I believe, is what it is.
With Kirk Herbstreit?
That's as far as I know, that's right.
Wow.
Joe Buck money is the quote. He's getting Joe Buck money to go work.
So Buck left Fox. Mm-hmm. See, I thought Michaels might end up at Fox. So Buck goes with Aikman to ESPN. So that crew will be the longest working crew together, like ever, The only ones close would be Summerall and Madden, if I read that
And
correctly.
they also went from a different network together
They
to a
did.
new
They went
network.
from CBS to Fox.
That's okay.
And actually, it was Madden that I think insisted that Summerall go. Summerall had been, he did golf and tennis for CBS. He did everything. So this deal, that means Fox is without a primary player.
Yeah, as far as I know, last I heard.
I don't think Steve Levy's going there. It'll all be interesting to see. But Fox is without a main guy because I was shocked that Buck and Aikman left. What is ESPN paying them? If it's Buck money.
Buck signed a 5-year, $75 million deal with ESPN.
So $15 million a year. Wow, that makes Tony Romo still the highest paid guy. I think Nance's deal is like 20. Isn't Romo's $22 million a year?
Something like that. And Brett Norsworth, who's going to be on with us in a minute, actually said yesterday on Sports Time, they can all kind of thank Tony Romo for bumping that price up for everybody.
Well, clearly, when CBS was negotiating with Jim Nance, it irked Nance because, I think Nance, I'm saying only, I think he was making $5 or $6 million a year from CBS, and he's doing golf. He's doing the NCAA, and then he's doing football. And Romo's making more than him just doing the 20 football games, whatever they do. So,
Tony Romo's not giving his tie away to any most valuable player of the year like he does for the NCAA tournament. I mean, Jim Nance is an icon, deserves to be paid as such.
He needs the money to pay for the tie.
Exactly.
Huh? Come on.
Fox Sports' biggest name to replace, this has been reported, is Kevin Burkhardt. I don't know who that is. I'm sure.
Well, he's their baseball host guy.
Okay.
See, Kevin, you know who I think is the best guy out there?
Who's that?
Besides the big names that we already know, Buck, Michaels, Tirico, I'll put him in there because he's now going to be the NBC guy. I think Brian Anderson is the next best guy.
Does it with Stan Van Gundy a lot on basketball.
If I were a network, and he's already working TNT, he's working the NCAA tournament. I mean, he's already a major guy. He's working baseball. I think he's the next really big guy because he's just got a great voice. His delivery's terrific. I could see if I were Fox, I'd have gone hard after Brian Anderson, but they already have Kevin Burkhardt in the fold. He already works for him.
And the late candidate to join him right now is Greg Olson, former tight end.
So that'd be another Romo thing because here's a guy who's really, what has he done it 1 year?
I believe last year was his first year doing it, and I think he got a fine response to it.
I think he was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't taking over the world like Romo did immediately.
Right.
But
calling the plays out.
Yeah. But Olsen, I think he did a fair enough job. That is really astounding to me. And then the news on Michaels, and I brought him up because he's 78 years old, right? So he's going to go into his 80s, but he has not lost anything
Not at all.
off of his fastball. I am kind of sad because, well, just think about this. How good is Al Michaels? He has now worked with every one of the great football analysts. Think about it. He was with Madden. Well, he did Monday Night Football right after they were the big three, but he did it with Cosell for a little bit. Then Madden all those years. Then Collingsworth, who I don't understand why there are so many people that rip Chris Collinsworth. I think the guy's terrific. I really do.
I do. I like him. I like his son too, who does Notre Dame stuff. Jack, I think is his name. He's got his little chops too.
They had him on Sunday Night Football for a little bit.
That's right. He was on the field,
and they kind of took him off. I don't know what happened there.
Nepotism.
Yeah, I think that's probably what they were saying. And then. And now he's going to work with Herb Street, who's the best college football analyst at the moment, for sure.
People question how he's going to do with the NFL. I think he'll probably do fine. As long as he watches and is paying attention, he clearly knows about football at a high level.
First of all, he and Chris Fowler have done a couple of Monday Night Footballs. And there were a lot of people that were saying they should move and put them in Monday Night Football. So I have no question that he can do it. Now, he's going to be busy, right? He's going to do a Thursday night game, and then he's going to go and have to study up and do college game day and then do the game that night and then go home to Nashville and collapse, I suspect.
A busy football season.
Yeah. So we welcome UB Brown. We got to welcome to the city Barry Wilbon, my fellow Chicagoan. Yeah, he went to Northwestern. He grew up, I think, on the south side of Chicago.
Mike Wilbon.
I mean, Mike Wilbon. Yeah, Mike Wilbon. I said Barry. And I love Mike Wilbon. I've always loved, pardon the interruption. And
Revolutionary show.
And I like the way he talks the truth. Like did you see, I want to say it was Drew Hall's Daily Memphian story today?
No.
Wilbon is going, come on, big deal. This is just another Wednesday night in the NBA. We come to town every week. We leave town right after. The caravan's leaving as soon as the game is over. We love being in Memphis. We love Ja. But, I mean, get over yourself, Memphis. We're here all the time. We and I do think this. People equate this to like game day. Well, there's only 30 NBA teams. They're always doing this, once or twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like only 30 NBA towns. So how many are they going to go to? It's not like there's 300 football towns that you could go to. And there's only 13 of them all year long. Not the same thing.
And I hate to draw this comparison, but it's also not even the most popular basketball whip-around show. Or I guess not a whip-around show, pregame show. Because TNT, NBA on TNT is so much more popular. So not to throw shade at Stephen A. coming to town. He's doing First Take from Memphis today, too. He's got the city skyline in the background of his First Take First Take box he's in. So certainly good publicity for the city, but, I see what you mean.
Just do the numbers.
Yeah.
There's 30 cities, right? So you're going to get it. If you got a good team, you're going to get it.
Yeah, it's true because you got the Magic, you got the Pistons and the Pacers and the Rockets. They're not going to those towns, even though like Houston, big city, would be great to go to, but they're terrible, so they're not going to go there.
They're only going to the towns with big games.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, and it happens at least once a week. So it's a little different, I think. And you are so right. People forget. I happen to love Wilbon, and Stephen A. Smith is interesting. He's the highest paid guy at ESPN. So there's a compelling reason to want to watch him, and I'm glad he's in town, and I'm glad he likes our soul food. But the number one studio show, I think, all told, any sport, is EJ, Shaq, Kenny, and Sir Charles. And he's the star. Barkley is. So you're right about that, but it's still nice to have him. And, hey, Jalen Rose is in town. Did you see, by any chance, the Real Sports piece that is just currently out there on Jalen Rose?
No. What about him specifically?
I tip my cap to Jalen Rose. I remember him as a Fab Five guy. First of all, I like him on TV. And he's another guy that talks the truth. He was a great player. I think of the Fab Five, you can make your argument. Was he the best guy or was Chris Webber the best guy? Those are the two. And Rose enjoyed a 13-year career in the NBA. I mean, he's a great player. He's from Detroit. So even though he does all this stuff for ESPN, he lives in Detroit. He has started this school. It goes through high school. I can't remember if it starts in junior high or whatever. It's like 400 students. He spends 50% of his time management on this school. He's there every day. He lives in Detroit. And 97% of their graduate, it's 100% graduation rate, 97% go to college.
Wow.
Right in the heart of Detroit. And to get into that school, I believe it's free. And it's, he's paying for most of it. He was actually lobbying last night for somebody to come up with $300,000 for a new boiler they need because the air conditioning was out.
In Detroit, whew.
Yeah. You to get in, anybody can get in, but it goes like it's through a lottery. And maybe he'll build a second school. It's a smashing success, and he started it. He basically bought an abandoned old grammar school, and he put all the money in, and I guess he's raised some money too because you got to pay teachers, you got to pay faculty, And like I say, he's there almost every day. It's amazing. Never knew this side of Jalen Rose. He's doing that on top of he does a daily program, right, with Jacoby?
Yeah, it's a radio show, but
They televise it.
Yeah, it's televised. That
it's
kind
like
of thing.
us.
Exactly.
We stream.
Exactly.
Hi.
It's exactly like that. And he's also, like you said, on NBA Countdown, he's constantly doing spots on the Good Morning shows or whatever on ESPN. So probably, seriously, the fact that he's spending all his time doing there and essentially working remotely from Detroit all the time, that is no small feat whatsoever.
And then we would be remiss if we did not welcome Malika Andrews, because yesterday I listened to Anthony Sane and Peter Edmiston, just lose their minds over Malika Andrews. I can't wait to watch the broadcast tonight just to see why they're going so crazy over Malika Andrews. I've seen pictures of her. She is good looking, no doubt about it.
She did pieces with Jaren and Ja, too, so she's going to get a lot of airtime tonight. You're going to see inside the look of Jaren's closet I've seen. We're going to see all of Jaren's clothes. Then they're on the practice court with Ja. I think Malika did all those pieces, so it's going to be a fun night. Even before the game even starts, Dave. I'm excited for Countdown.
I guess we'll all be watching. Well, the nice thing is Memphis, and like I say, we have been featured before, like Game Day.
On Beale Street.
On Beale. That was absolutely amazing. Where
do you think they're going to be set up tonight?
It never hurts to get pub. That's what I say.
No,
especially positive pub.
Not at all.
We've had enough bad pub, and I'm reading like an idiot. I go to the messages after these stories on the Daily Memphian. I don't know why I do it, because they always make me mad. But people are talking about, oh yeah, hope they don't get mugged, hope they don't get shot. We'll take the positive pub. This is really good. We've got this great team. There are so many good things that you can see. If they show the Riverside, if you have not been downtown and see what they're doing with Tomley Park and everything else that's down there, you're missing it. Memphis is a great city, and there are some good views. It's not just topologically ugly. It's not. Go downtown. Take a look.
Exactly.
Go to Shelby Farms, for goodness sake.
No doubt. And you go all the amenities, the zoo, go downtown. But where do you think they're going to set up? Do you think they're going to be in the studio where Bally usually sits in, or do you think they might be outside on Beale Street? I was thinking about this yesterday, as I wonder what's the opportune space to set up.
Well, it might be cold.
Oh.
So you could set up in that plaza. That's a good looking view, where you can kind of see that. You could see sort of Beale, but I don't know. I suspect, or they don't have to go inside that little studio of Bally's. They could do it in that big lobby somewhere.
Right, with people walking. Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah.
The practice gym is right around the corner. They could set up in there.
And they do it on the court sometimes, too, right? Where, they're sitting on one of the...
That's what I think that's where they would go. There's not that much space, though. That's the issue, unless you went, sort of toward one of the tunnels. And, you'd have to probably do it where the opposite of the tunnel the Grizzlies go through, which is close to the club. You'd probably have to do that sort of tunnel area, build something there, because you could probably get away with not having that tunnel.
Right.
You'd still have one on either side.
So yeah,
it would probably work. And I have no idea what the fire laws would be or anything like that. I'm just saying, logistically, I think that that would possibly work. Since we mentioned Game Day, real quick, for the first time in maybe forever, since at least last spring, Grant Gunnell, the Tiger prospective quarterback, talked about the quarterback battle. There's going to be a quarterback battle. There's going to be a quarterback battle. Now, I'd say Grant Gunnell is going to have to beat out Seth Hennigan, personally. We'll talk about this with Jarvis Greer. Jarvis Greer going to join us later in the program. Stats about to join us here momentarily. One last thing. The quarterback at Liberty, his name is Malik Willis. You know that name. You know how many people showed up at his pro day at Liberty yesterday? They didn't just go there to see the beautiful countryside around Liberty University.
They went to go see him.
They had 60 coaches and NFL execs. Every team, all 32, were represented. Apparently, he really wowed him, too, because there was one play where he didn't even get a chance to set up, and he threw the ball 65 yards in the air.
Back of the end zone.
Is that true? Did you see the thing?
And it was like a play they ran, I suppose, because he threw it to a guy, then he runs down to the end zone. Everyone's celebrating in the end zone like they scored a touchdown in a real game. It was unbelievable, though. A great throw. And
Did he throw it off his back foot?
Yeah, I mean, it was like a big, long, like everything you got type throw kind of deal, but it was right on the money. It was beautiful.
65 yards without setup.
It's unbelievable.
That's what I haven't seen it. I'll have to see it. That is pretty cool. And one last thing, and this is a topic for another day because we don't have the time. I got to get to Brett. But Ash Barty retired, the 25-year-old number one player in the world, just won the Australian Open. She's won on all the surfaces now. She won hard courts Australia, French Open, the clay, and the grass at Wimbledon. Number one, she's won 24 of her last 25 matches. At age 25, she got engaged in November. Age 25, she's packing it in. And you see Osaka, who's struggling with mental health issues and all the pressure. You got to wonder. And tennis has to really look at themselves. Junior tennis and all the pressure that is placed upon them. When you're burning out at 25, and Osaka's about the same age, and she has all these issues from pressure, makes me kind of wonder, is just the youth aspect of tennis too much? Let them grow. Let them be players a little bit later. I don't know. Just throwing that out. That is a topic for another day. In the meantime, I'm sitting in the Family Leisure Studios, and you got to get started on that outdoor living space because did you see what it's going to be like this weekend? You won't get on a golf course. It's going to be too nice. Everybody's going to flock. It's going to be in the 70s on Sunday. Gorgeous. Hope that you have decided and committed to making that outdoor space. And we've gone crazy since COVID. We love our homes, and they make your home a little bigger with an outdoor space. And I'm telling you, they really have it going. Pools in stock. They're ready for purchase. All the patio furniture hitting the floor daily. In stock hot tubs ready for delivery. The play gyms are cool. Trampolines got that new mesh all over them. They're safe. Grills. I got a bull, and I'm telling you, no bull. It's fantastic. And those new outdoor kitchens. That's what's happening at Family Leisure. Back in just a minute, Brett Norsworthy is happening on Wolo and Friends.
Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn drive you home with Sports Time on Sports 56. Brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
For years, I have talked to you about James Davis, the finest men's store in all of Memphis, the service, the selection, everything that goes with quality. And I've told you recently about the Stant Perfect Fit shirts. Well, now there's the Stant Perfect Fit pants. Absolutely amazing. Only 2 measurements fed into a computer, and all of a sudden, you've got the perfect fit pants. I'm talking everywhere. The leg, the seat, the bottom, all made to fit your body absolutely perfectly. And there's 80 different fabrics to choose from. You will find the right look, the right fit, almost instantaneously. They start at $162, but you will never find a better pair of pants than these at James Davis Men's Store. And the shirts are still there, and guess what? It's the only place in Memphis that you can find Stant. That's the James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Can anyone explain to me why anyone would care how I measure your roof? We've all heard about measuring your roof from outer space. Well, to be honest, that's not possible. There are aerial pictures that can be taken every 4 years that can be used to measure most buildings, but it's not from outer space. Besides, no one, and I mean no one, can tell you what's wrong with your roof or even if you need one, looking at pictures that could be 4 years old. If you'd rather do business with a family-owned and operated business with a lifelong tie to Memphis that refuses to mislead or use gimmicks, give us a call. Best products, best warranties, and the best service we know how to give. Fiveash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Hi,
Hi, friends. I'm Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and for 5 decades, we've been the personal jeweler to thousands of Memphians and Mid-Southerners. For many, many years, we've been offering the finest and beautiful jewelry to help our customers celebrate those very special occasions and let their loved ones know just how treasured they are. Diamonds and gemstones are our specialty, and set in whatever she wants, a ring or a pendant, a pair of earrings or a bracelet. We search the world's most fabulous jewelry markets, looking for pieces that are not only exquisite and beautiful, but that are also unique and eye-catching. We can help you make her smile in a way that neither one of you will ever forget. Come see us at Russell Brothers Jewelers. Let us put our many years of experience to work for you. Let us help you say I love you in the most wonderful way you can imagine. 5 decades providing beauty, value, quality, and service. Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
Mount Moriah Auto Sales. What sets them apart? Great selection, quality, high-end to low-end cars, and low mileage. Mount Moriah Auto Sales is under new management. Ask for Emmett or Steven. Check out their great selection of cars or trucks. Choose from Dodges, Jeeps, Fords, GMCs, Infinitis, Porsches, Range Rovers, Lexus, Mercedes, BMWs, even Bentleys. Mount Moriah Auto Sales also has a great service department with 12 bays for everything from oil changes to alignment to new tires. Go to MountMoriahAutoSales.com. Pick out your like new car or truck today. Mount Moriah Auto Sales, right on the corner and right on the price.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again, it's the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Yes, sir. Our program is presented by the good folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Take Chris True for his word. You'll never pay more than sticker price for any new car, and they're always coming in at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Not all dealerships can make that claim. They've raised the bar. It's the way car business should be done. Craft Road, Highway 78, first exit in Mississippi. That is Homer Skelton Hyundai. And this portion of the show brought to you by Dinstall's, and I always like to say it is the signature candy. It's sweet. It's sweet like the guy we're about to talk to, my good friend Brett Norsworthy. Dinstall's with 5 locations to become the hit at any party that you go to. You bring Cashew Crunch. You bring Turtlettes. You bring the strawberries. Nobody does the strawberries like Dinstall's. You bring that, you will be loved. You'll be invited again. I promise you. Happens to me all the time. I bring Dinstall's Cashew Crunch, and I keep getting invited back and back to all these parties. It's the best thing. It's the coolest thing. 5 locations to do it. Downtown, Germantown, Collierville. Where they make the candy, that's Pleasant View. And in my neck of the woods, that would be Laurelwood. 5 different places to go to become the hero of your next party, thanks to Dinstall's. We are joined by Brett Norsworthy. Are you excited about NBA Countdown being in town?
Very excited. I'm glad they're here, and I'm glad the Grizzlies are getting that attention. And when you get this kind of attention on the 23rd of March, it is earned. Nothing given. They've earned it, and it's been an incredible year. And then last night with the shocking loss for Golden State to Orlando, magic number for the 2 seed sets at 7, and with the tough game Golden State has tonight and with the Grizzlies at home tonight and tomorrow night, go to bed tomorrow night, the magic number could be at 4.
That's wow. I guess Ja's participate. Although, how do you explain 13-2 without Ja? That's the craziest.
That's how good this team is.
Stat that is out there. Maybe that is exactly correct, but that's hard to
Dave,
get.
A lot of credit from A to Z, the entire organizational chart, top to bottom, from scouting to drafting to general manager, player personnel to Taylor Jenkins to his coaching staff that they had to step up when he had to miss. Remember that kind of musical chairs of coaches because of COVID. When this NBA year is over, there's going to be a deep dive on the whole season. And that period from Omicron to about Valentine's and some of these rosters and some of these – Joe Johnson back with the Boston Celtics for a cup of coffee a few days.
Man.
I wonder if he's going to get a playoff share. Will they vote him a playoff share?
That is a good – how old is Joe Johnson now?
Joe's probably –
He got to be 40 years old.
He's
every
40.
bit of it.
Exactly 40.
He's 40.
Exactly 40.
Yeah.
He's pulling a Vince
he was
Carter.
at Arkansas in 2000.
He's pulling a Vince Carter.
Yeah, but the Grizzlies they also had to really sustain it with some different combinations, and it's led by a lot of different people. Yes, it's Josh's team. He is the engineer. There's no doubt. But they're more than just that.
Speaking of Vince Carter, is he in that commercial? There's a commercial that's got Kevin Booker. I'm sorry that I can't even remember. It starts with the ocean
Devin
blue.
Booker.
Devin Booker.
Christian Laettner.
Sue Bird, Christian Laettner.
Uh-huh.
Is that Vince Carter?
That is Vince Carter.
That's what I thought.
Ad.
Okay.
And they're talking the different hues, the different colors of blue.
Right.
And, of course, you had the Duke blue, you had the Kentucky blue, you had the Carolina blue, and she comes off the top rope with the Connecticut Huskies blue that she wore so proudly.
I know, and never lost just about.
And effectively.
Yeah, no question about it. Hard one for you.
I'm ready.
Who's the best old announcer? Vin Scully, UB Brown, Al Michaels.
Al Michaels, because I for Hubie it's analyst. That's a little
It's
less
different. It's
talking.
different. Yeah.
It's a little less, but Vin Scully was so good for so long. But Al Michaels to do all those big events and to do it flawlessly.
I'm glad.
And Vin Scully did too. That's a tough one. But I tell you.
I'm just glad.
Or as Dennis Miller would always call him on Monday Night Football during that 2-year experiment, Albino.
Albino. God. Yeah, that was disastrous.
Was.
It's crazy the musical chairs and the money they're getting now. Good for announcers, but
They should thank Tony Romo. He raised the rent for everybody.
No question. We just mentioned that you had said that yesterday, and he did. I mean, that contract certainly got Nance a lot more money, and then Buck was able to parlay that from ESPN.
You know, at the racetrack at Southland, they say, "Here comes Rusty. You need a good rabbit."
Here comes Romo.
And he said it for everybody.
He did. It is crazy. Okay. Biggest winner in my mind in the NCAA tournament would be the number 15 seed, St. Peter's, getting ready to play Purdue. That is a great story. A school of 2,200 students, a $1.5 million budget. I mean, It's great.
Everything.
Biggest loser, you can make the case for the SEC. What saith you, Brett Norsworthy?
I would say the SEC for sure. It was a poor performance. I was scared all year that that it was wide but not very deep. They had a lot of good teams but not really a go for it team. Well, I was thinking maybe not get to the Final Four, have a smattering of Elite Eight teams. They didn't even do that. It was dreadful performances by LSU, by Alabama. Dreadful performance by Auburn in the second game. They hardly competed in that second game. Miami took them apart with Charlie Moore and that guard play. And then the Kentucky upset that I contend is the biggest upset in the history of the NCAA tournament. I know everybody wants to go 16-1 with UMBC over Virginia.
Because that was
Virginia
the number one, though, Brett. That was 1 versus 68.
But Virginia doesn't have the pedigree or the past or the cachet of Kentucky. And at that time, Tony Bennett had not even won his one. Almost no comparison, PR and optics, between Tony Bennett and John Calipari. It was another ugly loss for John Calipari, who, when St. Peter's went into that zone, Dave, for years he told us to uproarious laughter. He would mix metaphors and say, "I don't play a zone defense," and we would all laugh. And okay, that's John being John, and that's fine if you don't want to play. If you don't want to play any. But you need to practice against some, and it looked like he had never practiced a rotation against the zone. They were backdoor, baseline cutting him to death. Of course, he went to the house with more timeouts left in his pocket once again, and now he has 1 in 13 years, and that is not what Kentucky signed up for with all that has gone with him, because that is Joe B. Hall territory. That is exactly Joe B. Hall, 1 in 13 years.
I'm trying to find it if I can. I had seen this thing on Twitter that compared the last 7 years after they won national titles at Kentucky, the numbers between Tubby Smith and John Calipari. The Tubby numbers
I found it.
Are better.
Tubby 177 wins. 75% winning percentage, 13 NCAA tournament wins, 2 Elite Eights,
and
0 tournaments missed.
0 tournaments missed, right?
To Calipari, 175, 74% winning percentage, 9 NCAA tournament wins, 2 Elite Eights, and 1 NCAA tournament missed.
John Calipari is a great coach. It's undeniable
Yeah,
that he is
is.
that. He is in the Basketball Hall of Fame for a reason. Now, is he in the pantheon of great coaches of all time? I say no, but not just because he just has one, but I would even contend we know he's not even the best coach ever at Kentucky. That's still the Baron. It will be Adolph Rupp,
Right.
probably forever. Rick Pitino can coach circles around John Calipari. In fact, Rick Pitino and his Iona team beat St. Peter's not once but twice this year.
So we go by that measurement. You're absolutely right.
I think Eddie Sutton is a better day in, day out college basketball coach than John Calipari. No, he didn't win a title, and that's a debate that we had yesterday. Can you be great and not win a title? And that's what Mark Few is kind of swimming against those waters right now.
Does
he have to have it for that confirmation? And I think you're right. He's going to get it.
He's going to get it this year, I think. And if he doesn't get it this year, he's got a machine going now. People want to play for him.
But we were saying that this time last year too.
That's true.
When he was getting ready to join 76 IU.
Yeah, and I don't know that last year's Gonzaga team wasn't better than this year's. I mean, if you think about it, a great guard can have more impact, especially when you've already got a dominating post player in Timmy. A great guard is more impactful in the NCAA tournament than another great big, which is what Holmgren is.
One of those great summertime debates that we never have time to actually get to those summertime debates would be this. Would you rather have, high hard one, would you rather have great guard play in the NCAA tournament or 2 weeks of hot pitching in the baseball playoffs? Because you have to have both to finish it off. Yeah. I mean, look at UConn with the Kevin Ollie title. He gets Napier and Boatwright playing like they had never played before or since for that 2 weeks.
Well, Shabazz Napier, that was an unbelievable 2 weeks.
MOP of the Final Four.
Yeah, but pitching is always the key in baseball. I don't know. That is a hard one.
Guard play, though.
Both is what I would have to say to you. Since we're talking about championships, and you're a meat and potatoes guy. It's always sort of the bottom line for you. So championships, advancement in the tournament, those are the most important things. Like we could say with Cal, the greatest marketing coach, maybe the greatest recruiting coach, but bottom line is one title, right?
Yeah,
he's got Final Fours, though. He does have Final Fours with 3 different
Phillip Rivers was a great fantasy football quarterback, but he never won a title.
Right. So let's talk about the case of Rick Barnes. Do you know that in the last 14 years, Rick Barnes has as many NCAA Sweet 16s as the aforementioned St. Peter's?
Yeah, second-round Rick, and it's really haunting him. And the Sweet 16 for him in 2019 for Tennessee, that didn't seem like a go for it year, but this year did. And to have that performance that they had defensively, and that's his bailiwick. That's his strong suit. And Michigan was getting anything they wanted. They were getting it inside. They were getting it from the big shooting three. They were getting from the guard shooting three. And Michigan took Tennessee apart. And for the Tennessee fans, they're now really kind of living the Texas fans' existence with Rick Barnes, a coach that could win one game in the NCAA tournament with Kevin Durant. He went to the Final Four in 2003, now 19 years ago.
Right.
And other than that, great coach. You'd love to have him as kind of the front man of your program, but I think it's clear now he's not ever getting you a title. Will he ever get you to a Final Four? This Sweet 16, 15 of the 16, only St. Peter's has never appeared in a Final Four. So we're not going to get any new Final Four blood. That's one of the college basketball great debates. Who's the best team out there? Gonzaga would be the answer right now. But if Gonzaga gets it this year, who's the best team out there to never win a major, to never win a title? Who's the best team to never get to a Final Four? You could make a case that it's Tennessee.
Never getting to a
program
Final Four.
History. I mean, Ray
think
Mears.
That's fair. Yeah, Bernie and
yeah, and Ernie. You go
Ernie,
way back to a lot of players, a lot of coaches. Heck, a lot of money spent, and they haven't gotten there. You could argue Alabama basketball, having never been to a Final Four with all the different coaches they've had from CM Newton to Wimp to even now. I thought the whole year Nate Oates, it was on display that he's a one-trick pony. I don't think a coaching philosophy is, hey, if we make threes, we win. If we don't, tough toenails. That's not a coaching philosophy. That's betting on red or black.
Speaking of betting, though, I would have bet because of the high seeds for 3 of the 6 that got in that the SEC was going to get a Final Four team this year. I
at least you thought at least one, yeah. But was anybody going to win it? I was always reticent about that. But then to have this performance. Now, Arkansas's in the Sweet 16, and they deserve a lot of credit. And Eric Musselman deserves a lot of credit. Year 3,
yeah,
won 20 games. First year, COVID got them before you could see whether or not it would sort out for them to get it or into the tournament that year. Then last year, Elite 8, lose Moses Moody, the first one-and-done player in Razorback history, and now back in the Sweet 16. But tall task. That line's kind of eased up a little bit all week against Gonzaga, and it'll be the first time for the Razorbacks to ever play an NCAA tournament game in the state of California, and I think they got the work cut out for them.
I do too. What is that? I know it started at 8.5. Where is it now?
That's about where it is still.
Is that where it is still? What do you think? We've all seen Gonzaga up close and personal now, and they got the pieces because they got that great guard in Nemhard. I don't know that he sucks, but he is really good. Oh, Holmgren is a freak, too. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You don't see guys like that very often. And,
I'd like to ask some old guard NBA people, is that what a young Arvydas Sabonis look like? Is that what Chet Holmgren looks like?
I don't think Arvydas Sabonis was ever that skinny. That kid is
No. I know it wasn't body type, but to be that big and to really be able to play
skilled
all 5 positions.
Yeah. Well,
four to 5.
Yeah, I don't really think
I don't want
he could be a guard.
Yeah,
but he can handle. And here's
good high post passer.
Here's the advantage that I think everybody in the world would love. He can get the ball at the top of the key, and he can take a jump shot, and it's a good form, consistent jump shot. There's no one on this planet. There's no human being that could block that shot. There's not.
No, You're not going to leave your guy to go out and try to block his shot. And then if you get too close to him, if you try to get belly button to belly button with him, one head fake and he's around you in 2 steps and at the rack.
All right, real quick, what does Arkansas got to do to beat Gonzaga? What do you think would be the key?
I think they have to slow the game down to a snail's pace. They need to win the Gonzaga game in the style that they won the New Mexico State game. I don't think they can run and really athletically be as the problem that Memphis, the Tigers presented for Gonzaga. If I'm Arkansas, I'd want to win that game about 62-60.
I'm with you. I don't think there's any way. That team averages in the 80s. They're going to get to 80. I promise.
And now, if the Razorbacks get the win, then they would get the winner of Texas Tech or Duke. Arkansas has played Duke 3 times in its history. Once in the national semis, got blasted. Once in the finals, beat them with Nolan in '94, and they played them once in the preseason NIT around Christmas or Thanksgiving of 1990. But then if they get Texas Tech back to the Southwest Conference,
wow,
Dave,
that'd be fun.
Razorbacks can't get away from that. They played Texas Tech 80 times, all-time series 40-40.
Wow, that's cool. Thank you as always, my friend. I appreciate it. Enjoy the Sweet 16.
You got it, Dave. Thank you.
That is Brett Norsworthy. Listen to him today, 3 to 6. That is, sports time with Gabe and with Stats. This portion of the show brought to you by the good folks at Old Dominic, located in the heart of downtown. I saw a whole thing about there's this new series on the distilleries around Memphis, and Old Dominic leads the way. It's the only one with a full tour of the distillery. You can learn about the craft of distilling. You get it from grain to glass. I love how they put it. You learn about the history of Old Dominic and how way, 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 way back when their founder, Domenico Canelli, came up and made an empire. He really did. What a smart guy and what a great product. And they keep getting it better and better. They got a master distiller, Alex Castle. She is amazing. And if you take this tour, at the end of it, you get a curated tasting of all the whole portfolio of Old Dominic. It's really worth your while. In the heart of downtown, 305 South Front Street. Go check it out. If you want something different, you're going to love Old Dominic. We pause for a second. When we come back, Jarvis Greer from Action News 5 on a myriad of topics.
You have opinions?
Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad.
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Is your company going through a merger or downsizing and you feel your job is in jeopardy? Don't delay. Call Pro Resume, the #1 source for professional resumes in the Mid-South. Go to ProResume.biz or call 685-1950, the fastest way to a new job.
If you're looking for top quality mowers, then you need to get to Golf Cars of Hernando today. They have Gravely mowers, as well as a limited amount of the Ariens Icon limited edition mowers that offer both quality and comfort. Its solid tubular frame delivers rugged support, while its plush high-back seat and thick foam steering grips keep you comfortable acre after acre. Come in now and get 0% financing for up to 48 months with approved credit. Golf Cars of Hernando, 3400 McCracken Road, Hernando.
What's happening Mid-South? Are you ready for a new ride from Gossett Kia on the Pike? We got it covered. Take your pick, 2022 Kia Soul LX or 2022 Kia Forte LSX. We got it at $199 for 36-month lease, $27.99 due at signing. And let your adventure begin in 2022 Kia Sorento LX. $299 for 36-month lease and $39.99 due at signing. Plus Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You got to make your move today to Gossett Kia on the Pike. Come see Bobby J. He'd love to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
36-month leases, $650 acquisition fee, $30,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Sold in 7/18/2252. MSRP $20,960. Forte NE 461,574. MSRP $20,770. Sorrento $899,0199. MSRP $32,120. Includes all rebates and incentives. $695 PF. Must finance through Kia. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/4/2022 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Belly Acres' motto is City-Fied Farm Fresh. The goal is simple: provide a fun, unique farm-to-table experience for the whole family. Two great locations, Regalia at 6130 Poplar and in Overton Square at 2102 Trimble Place. Overton Square hours Sunday through Thursday 11A to 9P, Friday and Saturday 11A to 10P. Regalia Sunday through Thursday 10:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 10:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. Signature burgers are made from 100% grass-fed beef. Sandwiches, salads, and the best milkshakes anywhere. The burgers, so good, like the Daria or the Double Daria, and the melt in your mouth. And you have to try the Voodoo Moo Moo. It is the quality brand the Belly Acres team has developed using grass-fed beef with creative homemade toppings in a fun farm setting right here in the city. The goal at Belly Acres, to become even more sustainable as they grow. In Overton Square and in Regalia, the very best quality available in Memphis, burger shakes and smiles at Belly Acres.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
So much to talk about, such little time. We always end our Hump Day Wednesdays with our friend from Action News 5, Jarvis Greer, checks in with us right now. And I guess we should start with the Grizz. Explain to me, hard one for you. How are the Grizzlies 13-2 when Ja doesn't play?
Well, because they're pretty good. That's the best thing you can say about it. It is a deep team, and they all contribute. So, that business about, you cut your rotation down to 6 or 7, 8 or 9 guys. They got everybody on that roster can play, and they all contribute, and they're all bought into the system that they run. And plus, Tyus Jones is a really, really good backup point guard.
Yeah,
he could start for several teams in the league.
Well,
he doesn't make mistakes.
Nope.
And then if you look at the records of the teams that they played during that, a lot of them have been, so-so teams, but they've won them. And that's the mark of a good team. You win the games you're supposed to win.
Well, you are so right about Tyus Jones. I don't think he gets enough accolades, enough credit, and frankly, he's going to make a lot of money next year, and it probably will not be with Memphis because of salary cap restrictions. And he has really done a terrific job. But it's nice to have the crew here, Breen and Brown and Stephen A's here with Wilbon, and a lot of nice recognition, and that's what happens when you got a great team.
Yeah, that's what comes with it. That's what we've been hoping for in this town for so long. I'm native Memphian, and I grew up wishing, man, I wish we had, what they have. Seeing Chicago on TV all the time, and seeing, even San Antonio, which they didn't like San Antonio because it was a small market and the way they played, but they were always up there and they were always respected. And it was nice it's nice now to be a part of that club.
No
it's
doubt.
Great to be a part of that club.
Since you were speaking about rotations, Penny shortened his rotation in the second half, but he played everybody in the first half. And your sense of how the year came to an end, successful season or not?
I would say it was a successful season in the fact that they broke that string of not making it to the tournament, and then they played the number one overall seed and had a chance to win it in the final 10 seconds. So you're going to play somebody really good anyway. And I think it was also a success, and for the head coach as learning on the job, to know things that you got to get it done early so you can get it done late. And that chemistry stuff, and some of it was being hamstrung because of the pandemic. They couldn't practice over the summer, and they really couldn't do anything until they got it all on campus for fall practice. But that's why he said, "Look, I'm starting in the summer. I want to get all my guys together. We're going to be in June, July." Right. Running around here together, and try to build that chemistry ahead of time and get those roles defined ahead of time. And that's that's what the championship level teams do. Everybody's got their roles defined, and they know what they're doing, and they're all bought in. And the sooner you can get them to buy in, the sooner you can take off. And he's going to have some kids that can play.
All right, who's going to be the quarterback? Seth Hennigan, Grant Gunnell. Have we got a quarterback controversy here?
Quarterback controversy, and the fact that you got two guys that can play. I think we saw in the spring game, Grant Gunnell looked like, hey, this guy's poised, and he looks like the starter, and he didn't transfer in here not to start. And then when Seth Hennigan got his turn, I said, this kid's pretty good. And I'm going to have to say the freshman All-American has got the upper hand, and it's hard to knock off the king. So I'm going to say just me saying I'm going to say it's Seth Hennigan, and because he's got the track record here, and everybody knows him, and he knows everybody, and it's not like Grant really didn't get a chance to show everything that he could do because he was not, he got hurt fairly early in fall practice. But, Seth's the incumbent, and it's hard to knock off the incumbent. What do you think?
I think the same exact thing. I think I feel bad for Grant Gunnell that he got hurt, but how do you take a kid who produced 3,000 yards in the air, who became a freshman All-American, how do you dethrone him? And the old saying, and I don't know if it was Bear Bryant who said this, but if you got two quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback. I think in this particular case, it sure looks like Memphis truly has two quarterbacks, and that is a rare commodity in this day and age because of the transfer portal. Only one quarterback plays, right? It's not like you can. There's 5 offensive linemen. You're going to play 8 receivers. You're going to play 2 or 3 tight ends. You're going to play 4 or 5 running backs. You only play one quarterback. That's going to be the shortest supply in all of college athletics is a backup quarterback, a number 2 quarterback. Memphis has that because Gunnell's already transferred once.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know what his options would be, but if he stays, they're going to play him some. He's going to get some playing. Whoever the backup is going to get some playing time unless they just leave. And we saw last year, Seth got hurt there toward the end of the season, and was what 50% in one game, and then didn't play the UCF game.
That was the only game.
It out the last couple of games.
But that was the only game he really didn't play. Was the UCF game.
Yeah, so it's tough. Wally Woodham and Jimmy Jordan were 2 Florida State. They were 1A and 1B back when they were going through their heyday.
Right.
And played against those 2, and they both were capable starters. And he played them. The legendary head coach they had, but it's very tough when you're not the starter. We've seen here when you're not the starter, you bolt. You go for somewhere you think you can play.
So do you think, with that thought in mind, that coaches might vary, and this is a good question that we can ask Ryan Silverfield. But do you think you may see a philosophy like, we're going to play 2 running backs, let's play 2 quarterbacks, and we'll just put in packages for both?
That could happen. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing, I don't think. I really don't think it would be the worst thing because they both can play. We haven't seen Grant Gunnell here in Memphis, but we got his tape from Arizona, and he can play. I mean, he knows he can spin the ball down the field. He's a big kid.
No doubt.
And he's mobile for his size.
No question.
So, I tell you what, it's a first world problem. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
And whatever happens, whoever wins the job, they'll definitely have gone through the ringer because both these guys can play.
Jarvis Career, as always, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dave.
I know I'll see you at the spring game on the 22nd up in the radio booth.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Well, it's definitely going to be a lot to look at this year, and I think we may have the biggest crowd ever for the spring game with all the changes and everything.
Could be. That's for sure. We'll talk more
Friday
about
Night
that.
Stripes, buddy.
Yeah.
April 22nd.
We'll talk more about that next week in the NCAA and the Grizz as well. Thank you, Jarvo. We appreciate it. You can see him today at 6 and at 10 on Action News 5. Jarvo brought to you in part by Conway. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, the tune-up, the Comfort Club. I'm a Comfort Club member. The one thing, and I can't stress this enough that I really appreciate, the one thing about Conway is how they do come out and service you. They do the little things. We talk about an eye for detail, and they've got that. And they come in, the first thing they do is they put their little slippers on, and they do everything they need to inside. They adjust. They'll find out where your thermostats are. They check all that out. Then they go outside, and really, it's like taking your system into a car wash with these tune-ups. They take out all the dirt and the leaves and the grime. It's a cool thing. And then your system lasts longer. It's efficient. You save money on your MLGW bill. And the Comfort Club makes it even less expensive than the $69 because you get a little bit more in there. Go check it out. Call 384-3511. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. Thanks to Jarvo. Thanks to Stats. Johnny Radio's next. See you tomorrow.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 120 years. I'm talking